Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. With the pros finally practicing control here in Call of Duty Vanguard, definitely mixed opinions on how this game mode is playing at the present time. Scump does reckon though that CTF should not return. Control is the way to go in Call of Duty, but it may not be particularly well positioned at the present time. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting a like button is the best thing you can do. Top this channel reach new people. Please do subscribe as well if you have not yet already. First of all, this Crone really, where is she? Right, try and bring her back, and it's going to be a while since track comes back in business. Of course, last year, just looking back at Cold War, really, you know, I used to say during the videos last year that Cold War was a good game. I kind of liked it, and yeah, sometimes I get roasted in the comments, but I mean, come on guys, you know, get with the times. Trek always kill it from a competitive perspective, but it might be a while till we get another Trek Call of Duty game, but we'll have to enjoy it maybe when it does arrive. This also from the Call of Duty League, just asking to get roasted. To be honest, they come back at Wendy's, and Wendy's doesn't even need to reply to this one because Chrome kind of does it for them. We've probably heard worse, but tried roasters. So I mean, the CDL are asking for it. CWL built a successful blueprint for competitive Call of Duty, and you're somehow still getting it wrong here in Season 3. So yeah, congratulations to all involved. But yeah, there's still plenty of other things to dive into. Firstly, this also from TacticalRab Academy, just because trophy systems were being discussed even earlier today when we talked about the sniper rifles. The fact that there's no trophy actually means that you can, well, maybe counter snipers with stuns, grenades, this type of stuff as well. But yeah, they're adding like all these like anime stuff. I don't really know what's going on here, but they're adding stuff into the game that you know, not necessarily realistic to World War II, and well, anyway, trophy systems that are still unrealistic, so unfortunate lads, and they're not coming into the game anytime soon, it does indeed seem. But this is, as Brian Saint says, definitely some talk about the fact that the kickoff is next weekend, and yeah, the third game mode is now being place tested. People are trying to figure out, does control even work in this title? Now, the fix that came through a couple of days ago seems like it has improved things to some degree. On some maps, control works. People say that Tuscan, it actually plays pretty well, at least compared to some of the other maps. Bacage, I think it's maybe acceptable. Berlin is completely broken. Maybe Gava 2 works, tough to say. But realistically, you only need 3 maps to work, and then the third game mode is viable. So hopefully they can find that, even if they have to play Tuscan every single map at the kickoff classic in the third game mode, then you know, maybe that's what has to be done. But I guess we'll see. Still, it's a bit of a disaster. So Methodz was streaming it last night, of course, and there was some talk actually about these streams. We'll have a look at this here in a second from the OpTic side, because I have kind of been wondering the fact that it's pretty much just Methodz team in Boston and some amateur teams like Classik's Team 18 and Cracked and the Wester guys that are streaming their practice at all. Now, I do kind of wonder, if you're like an OpTic or if you're one of these other teams that aren't streaming practice anymore, are you particularly happy with this practice being streamed? Because, you know, if I'm a coach for FaZe or something, and OpTic are playing up against Boston, I'm probably going to be watching Boston stream to try and see what's going on with OpTic, right, and Boston themselves, but also, you know, see what OpTic are up to on the map, which you can tell to a degree. It's, of course, not quite the same as if they're streaming their practice themselves. The minimap and all that stuff is, of course, hidden if you're, well, watching Boston's POV, trying to figure out what OpTic are doing, but it's still something that might be possible. So it seems also last night, we'll discuss this in a second, that the OpTic guys actually asked Methodz and co to stop streaming their practice because the OpTic didn't want it broadcast, but they basically said, you know, screw you, we're doing what we want. But fake TJ Hallie's back in business as well here over at CDL Scrim Intel. This is also from Berlin, just to point out real quick, the spawns are completely wrong on Berlin right now, where the offense can get all the way to A points before defense can even get there. Now, to be fair, Gridlock back in Black Ops 4 had a similar thing, whereas I think it was the A point was very easy, honestly, for the offense to get. Like, it was pretty difficult to hold if you were the defense. You got there at the same time, maybe slightly behind, but it actually worked out okay on that map. Now, Berlin, I don't think this is ideal. I think that ideally they just need to bring the offensive spawn back a little bit, so this isn't the problem anymore. And I think Berlin could work if it's not the case where the offense just gets a free capture really straight off the rip. I don't understand how they didn't look at the spawns here and think about, okay, actually, offense gets to this point before the defense, probably not the best thing to do. Of course, you don't want to have it super lopsided the other direction where the defense gets all the time in the world to set up shop, but you want it to be a little bit more competitive than this. So Berlin, it doesn't seem like it's going to work right now, and I mean, it's well, Scrim Intel points out, right, they basically played 1 round of Berlin control and quit. They played Bacage as well. I'm not sure they played Bacage to its conclusion either, because that Methodz was running into some very dodgy spawns, let's just say, in the middle of the map. I'll share maybe one of them for you guys right here.
Wait, where? Oh, dude. Nuke the game mode, dude. One shot, bro. They secure and fight you.
Just got spawn killed like 7 times.
Nuke the game mode, dude. Oh my god, I've lost my head right then and there.
Oh, hands, baby.
Back window's dead.
Keep it up.
Dead. Still back windows.
Here, if they're in a shed, you spawn and reach out.
I'm here, come here.
Oh,
I'm
top
dead.
barn, top barn, top barn. He's not feeling himself.
Two in the back. Top house and low house, top house and low house.
I'm bottom man.
Nice, top house, low house, last two.
Yeah. One B here.
We gotta hop on it. We gotta stop time.
I can't even go anywhere. Nice.
One's mid right now, Gizmo. Z. Left, he's like front left tank.
Okay. He's arc.
Oh, I'm spawning low barn, that's nice.
Lily in our barn.
Oh, no, sorry, nasty. I got time.
Dude, what the f, man? Shallow, they spawned
She's on time. On B.
House, one shot.
He's pushing the river, I think. Just hop A. Stack A here.
Shed.
He's hold me, Afro. He's going Z to front.
So then they did go on to play Tuscan, and to be fair, they actually completed the Tuscan game. They won this 3-2 against London right here. So it seems like Tuscan might be playable, and as I say, maybe at the Kickoff Classic, we're just playing Tuscan Control the third game mode every single game. But I mean, and what happens with the vetoes, I don't know what 3 maps they can possibly play. And yeah, maybe Berlin could work if they can fix that one spawn point that kind of Arcitys was discussing, and maybe the developers will get round to that sometime in April. So you know, maybe we get a game mode at some point. I don't know. It's pretty frustrating, but yeah, Tuscan, it seems, could be viable for Control. So at least there's that at the end of the day. And well, some other clips, of course, I guess I just shared right with Methodz are not having the greatest time here in the current state of Control. But this other thing was very interesting, as CDL Scrim points out. Didn't find a specific clip of this really from the stream, but it kind of is an interesting concept to discuss, really. That the OpTic guys, after not streaming their practice anymore, they play up against Boston obviously quite a lot here in practice, because it seems like Boston are a pretty good match for OpTic. Generally, that they go pretty back and forth with them, right? And it seems like OpTic think that Boston are a very good caliber team. That's why they keep playing them right now. And we see Boston versus OpTic scrims pretty much all the time. Now, you can understand it, right? As a side note right here, as CDL Scrim points out, OpTic asked Boston to turn the streams off before the scrim started, because I'm not sure if Nero was streaming as well, but a couple of the Boston guys have been doing it, and you know, it's obviously working pretty well for them, right? We get to talk about the scrims. We're talking about Boston an awful lot right now. If they were practicing off stream, they wouldn't get any of that kind of exposure, and Methodz, of course, is doing it for his stream. Is it really affecting how Boston are going to perform, right? Because at the end of the day, like Boston are looking like a pretty good team. We'll have to see how it goes for them into this weekend, and maybe a lot of other teams are looking into how Boston are playing, right, and are trying to counter-strike them or something, but realistically, going into the Kickoff Classic, probably not too much of a big deal. And, you know, for the OpTic side as well, at the end of the day, I can kind of understand OpTic's frustration here, that, okay, maybe Crowder and RJ and some of the FaZe guys are looking at these scrims to get some intel on what OpTic are doing on the other side of the fence, even though they're watching the Boston perspective, but, you know, you're going into the Kickoff Classic, there's no points on the line, there's no money on the line, well, there's 30 grand on the line, but it's not all that much, right? It doesn't seem like the biggest deal to me that Boston are streaming the practice right now. Of course, you could look at it from the perspective, okay, OpTic don't want them to stream the practice, like they should respect that opinion, right? But at the same time, like if it was the other way around, I can't imagine OpTic would turn off the streams just because you know, Boston don't want their practice to be streamed or whatever the case might be, if OpTic were the ones streaming at the time. So you know, interesting discussion, maybe something that will continue through the rest of the season, because right now I guess OpTic say, look, please Methodz, turn off the stream. He says, you know, no, I'm not doing that, mate. I'm streaming this one to its conclusion, and you know, maybe that's fine at the moment, but then maybe before the World Championship, if Methodz is still streaming, then things might be a bit different, right? So maybe something to keep your eyes on as time does progress. This also from Scump I wanted to mention real quick, because there's some discussion in general about the state of Control right now, and what third game mode actually might be the most ideal in theory. And Scump has some thoughts on this, actually. I was kind of surprised at this, especially given Scump's kind of like well, an OG player in the scene. Generally, a lot of the kind of old school types, they kind of like to capture the flag, right? It's been a big discussion. Capture the flag, is that the third game mode we should go for? Especially in Vanguard, I thought it might actually be okay, given, well, of course, World War II, CTF was played. Control wasn't even a thing back in World War II when Sledgehammer made their last Call of Duty game. But Scump goes on to explain in this clip right here, he's actually very comfortable with Control. He thinks that's probably the #1 third game mode you can have by quite some margin, if at the very least it is balanced correctly.
Won't they bring back CTF as the third game mode? I don't know, bro. CTF is kind of a... I don't know. CTF definitely isn't the best third game mode for Call of Duty. It's up there. Like, CTF is definitely probably second, but I think Control is like a far and away #1 in terms of third game mode.
So it's always been a big discussion the last couple of seasons. Should COD get CTF back? Should it not? Right, TJ says is back in November, right? CTF needs to come back into Call of Duty. That's the play here in Vanguard as well, and going into the future as well. I don't know. I kind of like Control, but clearly in this game it's not particularly well balanced. Squad spawns don't make things ideal either. And, you know, maybe CTF plays slightly better with squad spawns than Control does, but the spawn tweaks they've made might have made things slightly better for this title if some of the map fixes can actually come through, because Tuscan seems to play okay, but, you know, we shouldn't really have have only one map that seems playable right now for Control, going a week out from the first event of the season. This also, just to finish off with a couple of things, Crimsix out, yeah, looking fire. I guess this is from the New York photo shoot or whatever they did quite a while ago. So Sim6 is getting ready to go for the upcoming season, and I thought this is a pretty funny compilation, frankly, of some of the issues that Crimsix was running into yesterday. We looked at when he got naded right by Shotzzy all the way across the map, and then of course, like, he then gets spiked by Shotzzy off the next spawn as well. He wasn't having the greatest time in the world, and as well, Simp says in reply, definitely, they had a few back and forths right last season as well, in terms of, you know, when Simp and co, the FaZe guys were playing Dallas, they would shoot some bodies when the opportunity arose. Just watched you get slammed for a whole minute. A nice try there, says Simp in the reply. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button and tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Milano, what's going on, guys? Listen, you guys know I'm part of the positive vibe tribe, man. But this Control is getting to me, man. Something's got to give. TacticalRab with a prime for 2 months. Welcome back, Rab. The GOAT, dude. Hey, what's going on, guys? TacticalRab here today. What a game for Methodz it was. Right now, his team's playing pretty well. And right now, over to the Call of Duty League is a big community address coming in from Daniel and Spencer. What's going on, you guys? Hey, sorry.